More states are stepping up. There is now bipartisan support for expanding cash assistance programs on the federal level. Also, thousands of dollars have been made available to low-income households across our nation. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to find out if you qualify for this financial aid. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure that you enter the weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dear friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways.
Grocery prices have increased 20%, which is something every single person serving in Congress has been seen in action. You cannot deny this. Any trip to the grocery store tells the story. Energy bills have gone up 36% since Joe Biden and the Democrats took power. Rent is up 15%. Clothes, 12% more. A tank of gas is up 51%. And a used car to put that gas in is going to cost you 33% more today than it did last June. To counteract all this, the Fed has raised interest rates at the fastest pace since the 1980s, which has in turn destroyed access to consumer credit and made it harder for small businesses to take out the loans they need to grow. The problem isn't limited to a holiday celebration. Our president and the Democrats have made life too expensive to afford every single day of the year. Needless to say, spending has been out of control for over a decade, and regardless of what this administration believes, we cannot spend our way to prosperity. It does not happen. But we can directly trace this crippling inflation back to the reckless spending policies of this administration. So let's take a look at some of the things they have chosen to prioritize over the good of the country and the good of the people. They used the 6,825-page Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023 to set a new precedent for wasteful spending that, frankly, continues to baffle most Tennesseans. This bill, which no one had the opportunity to read, included billions in pure waste and authorized over $1.82 trillion in total discretionary spending authority. To make matters worse, the Inflation Reduction Act, which passed last August, gave the Internal Revenue Service $80 billion for, guess what, more IRS agents. They estimate that the resulting increase in harassment will take $204 billion from hardworking taxpayers who are already struggling to make ends meet.
When federal lawmakers expanded the child tax credit in 2021 as part of President Biden's crisis relief program, nearly 35 million Americans across the country began receiving hundreds of dollars every month. With the expanded credit, non-working families were eligible for the credit's full value for the first time since its passage in 1997. And also, the federal government increased the value of the subsidy. Almost 3 million children were lifted out of poverty as a result of it, and families used the funds to help them afford gas, food, and school expenses. But when Democrats failed later to approve an extension of the program, the federal child tax credit returned back to its pre-crisis form, with a maximum of $2,000 per child for working families only. Economists at Columbia University estimated that making the expanded federal credit permanent would have resulted in more than 10 times return on the investment, while gridlock and partisanship hobbled Congress from expanding this consequential cash assistance program. Many state governments have since used the success of the federal experiment to push forward their own versions of the subsidy. Since the expanded federal child tax credit has expired, 11 states have passed or expanded their own child tax credits and made it available to families earning $0. The new child tax credits have passed in states that currently hold Democratic majorities, but the policies have been less polarized on the state level compared to Congress. An analysis of the new laws from the progressive think tank found that 40% of Republican state senators and 30% of Republican state representatives have voted in favor of fully refundable child tax credits. In Montana, it was the state's Republican governor, Greg Gianforte, who proposed a new $1,200 child tax credit for every child under the age of 6. Of the 11 states with refundable child tax credits, 6 states have already raised their benefit amount or broadened eligibility. Plus, even modest child tax credits have been shown to make real differences. One study found quarterly cash payments of just $150 to low-income families led to increased household savings, fewer late fees on bills, and more spending on their health. When policymakers consider passing or refining a child tax credit, they have to make a number of design trade-offs, weighing the financial and administrative implications of each choice. Will the credit apply to all children or just younger children? Will it be a large credit or a smaller credit? As well, what do they need to do to claim it? Some states, like New Jersey, require beneficiaries to fill out just a quarter page of additional questions on their tax filing in order to receive the new cash assistance. But by contrast, in the state of Colorado, beneficiaries have to fill out 3 additional pages of paperwork, which could deter some from applying for or receiving the extra assistance. States have also taken different approaches to funding new child tax credits. One financing path is through consolidating existing benefits into a more simplified child tax credit, which is the approach that Massachusetts and Minnesota have embraced. In Massachusetts, prior to 2021, the state offered a tax deduction for children under the age of 12. But since deductions only help families with tax liabilities, the lowest income families were excluded. Another approach is financing state child tax credits through state revenues from economic growth, rather than new taxes. So, for example, New Mexico authorized a new child tax credit using new revenue from the oil and gas industries. While these new policies are significant, advocates say there are ways the child tax credits could be improved upon. So if more U.S. states were to create or expand child tax credits, one option is phasing out existing benefits that are currently geared towards high-income earners. Another way to improve the effectiveness of the state child tax credits is by expanding their uptake among those who are already eligible, whether through awareness campaigns to potential beneficiaries or through administrative tax reforms that make claiming the aid much easier. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this evening. My dear friends, thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners every Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.